Hey guys, so this will be a video on Japanese Pokemon cards, and I think that most people will have something to gain from this video. There will be a mix of explaining um, the Japanese market in general, or how Japanese Pokemon cards work, and also just looking at market data to see what are things that make more sense to buy compared to English equivalents. Um, let's get started. So I have this table, and what I did is I went to TCG Player and I just opened all the tabs of sorting by best selling booster boxes, and unsurprisingly, the more recent booster boxes are selling better. I will caveat TCG Player isn't necessarily the best place to get Japanese boxes because there are people who can get deals um, from Japanese distributors since this is like US data, and so it is cheaper to get boxes over there typically. Um, but it's still kind of good enough, especially if there's a lot of pricing data. But yeah, if you're actually going to buy, I would recommend like actually shopping around and looking at it actually is the lowest price. All right, so I'm just gonna get started in some of the data. So battle partners, like this is the sort of graphs I want to see. I want to see a bunch of stuff being sold. Japanese Pokemon cards is relatively new to the anti-shoe player. You see that Battle Partners is going down. Usually that happens with Japanese Pokemon sets where there's hype and then it kind of drops. In this bull market, it was kind of like very hyped because even though Battle Partners wasn't a very like good set, like or people didn't think it was the greatest in the world. It's like the newest thing. It's associated with Journeys Together, and that's why I was doing as well. But there's some reprints going on, and yeah, the price is dropping. Not too bad, but it's dropping. But this still be a $40 box, 30 to $40 box, so it's still like double its selling rate. Um, I'll know in this table. I'll go over um the Japanese and English equivalents. So, but I'll have to go over how they work a little bit. So, I looked at Bulbapedia, and Bulbapedia has like the list of Scarlet Violet boxes from Japanese to English. So there is this main sets. There is a list of um, there's something called enhanced expansion packs, and there's also high class expansion packs. And so the difference between those is that the main sets usually have a core formula or rarities. I'm kind of basing some of this on this post I saw on how do you tell the difference between um, the subsets. And it's like, okay, core sets, they kind of have some specific rarities and specific um, like pull rates or whatever, and then subsets will tend to have Pokemon's kind of allowed to do something different. Basically, they'll change the pull rates, they'll change the number of cards in each pack, they'll change like they sometimes have a theme like they might have like more dragon Pokemon or more shiny Pokemon or whatever. Sometimes the enhanced expansion packs, but pretty much like for Japanese things, there's three categories we want to know, or at least be somewhat aware of. Main sets, enhanced expansion packs, which can look a lot like main sets a lot of the time, but they just will have some deviation usually, and then high class packs, and those are um, usually expensive, 10 packs per box versus the normal 30. Okay, so it's getting a little disorganized, but yeah, I want to kind of continue. This is sort of the intro. So just to summarize the content so far, there's three sorts of Japanese booster boxes: main, enhanced, and high class. Um, if I go over some of the actual data, it'll probably make a little more sense. So not um, this is not like technically fully technically correct, but like most booster boxes in Japanese, they'll be just your 30 pack booster box, and they'll have some predictability. These are pretty much almost all the booster boxes of Japanese, and they all pretty much have the same thing. Like the difference between these booster box guarantees is that there's this A spec versus not. But otherwise, like Japanese booster boxes compared to English, they have a guaranteed pull rates, and these are the actual things. So the naming of the rarities is a little different than in English, so I'll go over that in a sec. But yeah, like you'll typically get like one guaranteed quote unquote chase card per box, and then some like lower chase cards. Um, in Japanese, super rare is English equivalent to ultra rare, so they can't use the same naming, which is a little annoying. But I'll paste this like if anyone's interested. But like this is kind of what it looks like. So I'm like, okay, so that's kind of what a super rare is. And then there's an art rare, which this magic card, it's technically an art rare. So it's more like there's more like art to it. And then wow, that was a profound statement, obviously. And then special art, this is SIR, like everyone kind of knows this. It's the really special artwork ones. And then there's ultra rare, which is basically gold rare, but pretty much you're guaranteed one of these sort of things. Which means you're not necessarily guaranteed like a really really good hit per box for a lot of these boxes. That's how Japanese booster boxes work. Um, and then there are these more um specialty ones. These kind of don't fit the norm as much. So Shiny Treasure and Terrestrial Festival. This is Prismatic, and this is for Paldean Fates. They're the English equivalents. And then 150 was obviously 151. So these only have 10 packs in them, so they're very expensive per box versus the normal 30. And then 151 had 20. Um, and then something special about Terrestrial Festival was that it had one guaranteed special art rare, which is like SAR. So it's much easier to pull an EV Evolution for Terrestrial Festival than Prismatic. It's actually like, I don't know, super, super, like if you really want to pull an EV Evolution, just buy Terrestrial Festival, you'll have a better experience because there's a guaranteed one of these. And even though there's so many special art rares in Terrestrial Festival, like you're actually gonna get versus Prismatic, like I've heard people they open cases of Prismatic and they get like nothing. Um, but yeah, it seems like out of all the recent sets, it's the only one that guarantees something that rare per box. Everything else offers like a super rare, which depending on set, I know 151, a super rare is still a pretty good card, but other sets it won't be that great of a card. Um, but yeah, you'll see um, those different rarities here. But yeah, it's mainly as far as like actual differences, it's mainly every main set, and then the exceptions are kind of Terrestrial Festival, Shiny Treasures, and 151. And I also have V Star Universe here on at the top, which is technically Sword and Shield, but it's the Crown Zenith, so it's also kind of the same case as one of the terrestrial or shiny treasures. Okay, so all right, next. So I'm gonna move to this table real quick. So when I sort by price per pack, when I actually do all these comparisons, I see that yeah, it should be pretty apparent that the most expensive things are these boxes with less packs per box because it's literally like a lot more expensive to get the cards. And then you also notice that a lot of times these are specialty sets. So yeah, Crown Zenith, Prismatic, Paldean, and 150 are specialty sets. I think like Shroud Fables especially set, but it still was treated as like a normal like it was specialty in English, but it's still treated as like a normal one in Japanese. Like basically, like they technically classify something different, but it's basically like a normal set. Um, and yeah, everything else here is like normal booster box level. So yeah, in Japanese, the the more specialty sets will also put pressure on the pricing of English to do better as well. So typically, if you want to invest, I would look for like one of these specialty sets the most, and then also um, the other typical thing to look at is if like the set's popular in English, it might also be popular in Japanese. And if there's a particular chase card that you want or people really want, it might be good to get the Japanese alternative. So, for example, um, like chase cards Paldea Evolved. There's actually three sets that make up Paldea Evolved in Japanese. Like I put these 1/3 and 1/2. And so if you want the Magikarp one, the one that you should buy is the Triple Beat Booster Box. not the other two because it actually has the magic card that people want to pull. And you do see that like um, the price does reflect that a little more. Like compared to this No Hazard, it's $50 or $75. Even like this Playburst, it has like this Iono card, which is pretty expensive, and so it's all $75 for I'll just go over these noteworthy cards. For Scarlet base, there's a Gardevoir and there's a Miriam, and they're split between the Scarlet and the Violet booster boxes. Um, I only wrote noteworthy cards for sets that are mixed. Like Obsidian Flames is pretty much like close enough 1-to-1 to rule a Black Flame. Um, for Paradox Rifts, this Raging Serve, I didn't really see much that was really noteworthy, but there's the Roaring Moon in Ancient Roar, and there's Altaria in Future Flash. Okay, and then Palladium Fates is pretty much a one-to-one Shiny Treasure, so if you want that like Gardevoir, Charizard, or Bubble Mew, like you just get that. But that's more of a straightforward buy. But yeah, some people will like possibly think, oh, I want like the Twilight Master or Greninja over here, and they'll get like the one that they think is the right one, but it's actually not. Like, yeah, funnily enough, with that, um, the artwork of this Mask Change is very similar to the English Twilight, so it's very deceptive in that sense. Um, yeah, sometimes you get so like the Master Change actually makes up a lot of Twilight, like you see 2/3 is 1/3. But like the box you might actually want to buy is actually the Crimson Haze, which has the Greninja and the Eevee. Um, for Temporal Forces, the set with the more value is actually the Wild Force one. It has Raging Bolt, Walking Wake, and the Entei one. Versus the Iron Crown isn't worth as much. Shadow Fables 1-to-1, Stellar Crown's more 1-to-1, and the last one is Surging Sparks. The more expensive one is obviously is the Super Electric Breaker because it has the Pikachu Melodic versus the but Paradise Go is also not too bad of an investment because it has a Latias and the Lucia. So like, out of all the cards, out of all the boxes that I would like, you don't have to memorize all these like boxes. Even I don't memorize all these. Um, but if you are interested in some of these cards, I would like possibly remember those particular ones, like the specialty ones that are meaningful in English, like Crown Zenith, Prismatic, Palladium Fates, 151, all no brainers. That like, hey, should I at least look at Japanese or should I look at the English ones? These are really popular sets. Um, and then the ones with like noteworthy cards, like the Pikachu for Surging Sparks. Like, is that going to do well? Are people going to buy the Japanese version? The Greninja from Twilight. Are people going to buy a Japanese version for that? And the Magic card from Paldea. I think those are some of the top ones that people are going to look for in Japanese. And you do see the booster box prices being higher, like 75 for triple beats. Um, the Crimson Haze is actually not that much more than the other boxes, so it's actually kind of cheap to be honest. And then the Pikachu Surgery Sparks is already at 75. The Latias is lagging behind a little bit. Um, and then there's the more direct plays of like yeah, Trust the Fest is like $100 now. Um, okay, so I'll just go do some of the quick market data. So yeah, TCG Player isn't the best one, but like you'll be able to get a sense if it's like accurate enough based on the sales data. So like this is kind of accurate enough. $88 for Battle Partners. Terrestrial Festival, which is prismatic. It also has kind of enough sales where it's like, all right, people are kind of buying at $100. 151. This has several reprints. There's more sparser sales data, but yeah, there's like a pre price jump. So when you're looking for investing in these, you want maybe look for the price jump. Oh, has it reached the price jump yet, or is it going to go another one? 151 is so hot in English that yeah, like it's not surprising that it jumps like like pretty recently. Like in the 3 month range, like it just kind of kept going up. Like it was stuck at around 90 to 100 for a while, and then it just kind of jumped all of a sudden. Crimson Haze, this is the one with the Green Ninja from Twilight. So people are buying this a little more. It's not as many sales, so like I wouldn't necessarily trust this boost box price. Super Electric Breaker, yeah, there's more sales. It's more recent as the Pikachu for Surging Sparks. This has a Latias for Surging Sparks, so there's like decent demand. It's going up. Um, Stellar Crown. Mainly just because I've all right. Yeah, Stellar Miracle for Stellar Crown. Mainly because Stellar Crown's kind of going up. So it is kind of appreciating, but it's not gonna be as popular as the other sets that we mentioned. Um, this one actually is going down. I'll let you know this is for like Paradox something. I wouldn't really focus on this one to be honest. Um, I think this has the some temporal cards, but yeah, see how it kind of as actually drops. So I wouldn't focus as much about this. But like if you're desperate, like these are possibly things that like they are pickups. See, like they'll go up. Like the Wild Force had um the Raging Bolt, so it's actually the more like if I had to choose one of these at the same price, I would get the Wild Force over the Cyber Judge. Um, Triple Beat. This has the Magic card from Paldea. Sparks or sales here because it's an older box. The Shroud Fable. I wouldn't really touch this. Master Change. See, it looks very much like Twilight Masquerade, but it's not like but it's not actually Twilight Masquerade as far as people care. They care about the Greninja. Scarlet. This is for like base set. This has this. Um, this is for Paradox. This one has the Future Flash. Has Altaria, so it's not really the biggest one. And Cyber Judge was for that was the one with that was other temporal box. Clayburst has the Iono card for Paldea Evolve, so that's why it's kind of expensive, but there's not as many sales. Snow Hazard, yeah, I don't really see much of there. Yeah, there's not that many sales. Yeah, as you get further along, since I sorted by like best selling more or less, you get fewer sales. So these are the ones people don't really care about. Ancient Roar, Scarlet, Shiny Treasures. This has gone up and down. It's been reprinted a lot. Um, but it was pretty cheap at some point. It got to like 35 at some point. So it's just kind of gone up, especially as Paldean Fates has gone up. So yeah, if you see some card in English that seems like it's undervalued or like the Japanese equivalent's undervalued, then it might be a good pickup to get the shiny to get the Japanese version. Especially if it has the other sort of qualities like oh it's been reprinted already or like the price just is low for whatever reason. But the caveat to Japanese things is that they do reprint more often. So it just is a little more volatile than English for that sense. And then V-Star Universe this is Crown Zenith. This has been reprinted several times as well, but it has had its price jump. And then this is Obsidian Flames. All right. But yeah, I'll post the links to some of these resources because I didn't really go over everything on Pokemon. So this is like the list of Pokemon sets. This is like something about rarities. This is about the specific rarities for each box, and this is like explain the rarities in Japanese versus English. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.